Welcome in everybody to Betting Pros. It's time to place your bets. It is me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and this is BP NFL. We're back again at it for Thursday night football. This time, another pair of division rivals will match up. Seattle Seahawks hosting the San Francisco 49ers, and somebody is red hot. Scott Bogman, 4-1 last week on the props. Ooh wee, baby. You love to see it, Boggs. And now we got a game here where certainly I think both teams limping into this one is probably the best way to put it. And the San Francisco 49ers have a lot of injuries on defense. Seattle Seahawks have a few of their own. So this is going to be a game here that is going to be really tough to gauge winner or loser. I'm running away from that. We're going to break it down. Boggs has all the props for you. We got some touchdown calls and, of course, my same game parlay. Just as a quick reminder, too, to make your picks count. Again, you don't even have to make wagers to be involved in this amazing group here, our podcast group and our contest, bettingpros.com/NFL contest. All you have to do is sync your picks and use the quick pick feature. That's it on Betting Pros app. And when you join the contest, you make your picks work for you. We're doing free weekly and monthly prizes. So elevate your betting strategy and join the conversation today at bettingpros.com/NFL contest. Again, you don't even have to make a bet. You just have to make a picks. Play with us. Have some fun. Win some free stuff. That's the way it goes. All right, Boggs, let's take a look at the tail of the tape for Thursday night football. We got Seattle at home, 3.5-point underdogs, -114. -3.5 is the best number you can get on San Francisco. The number everywhere is pretty much 47.5 right now. You're getting +157 for Seattle on the money line. I'm keeping this one simple, Boggs. I'm not looking for winners or losers. I'm looking for points. I know it's Thursday night. I know things get weird, but I think with all the defensive injuries and the way these teams both performed last week, I think it's time to come out there. Guns a-blazing, short week. Forget about the losses on Sunday and this week. Go ahead and get right. One of these teams is going to. I'm taking the over on the 47.5, even though it's a pretty solid number. Boggs, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I'm going to follow you on that. And we saw the division game last week go into overtime and all of that, and I was on the under there too. So I think it's about time maybe we go with some overs here. I'll also take Seattle +3.5. But again, just like I said last week, don't bet on the game. Bet on props in this game. The game is always weird. There's something that happens on Thursday night, as you stated, Joe. So many injuries, specifically on defense. There are injuries on offense too, of course, but a lot of banged up players on defense. Fred Warner less than 100%. Hufanga on the IR. Jair Brown out. Byron Young out for Seattle. Boye Mafe questionable, right? So there's just a lot of guys that are, if they're coming in, they're less than 100%. It doesn't always prelude points. I mentioned the injury report a couple weeks ago for the Jets and Patriots, but the Patriots are just so bad. But both these offenses are clicking right now. I think the over is a safer bet than a side, but I don't like either one. I'll say that.
This is a really interesting spot here for the Seahawks. I just want to talk about it for a second because the 49ers have lost some conference games already. You know, and that's a dangerous thing when you start losing games in the conference because then the tiebreakers
choking them away.
Choking them away.
The Cardinals.
Well, I didn't want to say that, but Welsh isn't here, so we could say choking them away. He's not here. Let's just say it. Seattle with a win here can really assert themselves a little bit in this division. I mean, the Rams are, so many injuries. The Arizona Cardinals are very inconsistent. The Seahawks have a real shot here. They came out really hot. Unfortunately, it was against lesser teams, and then, the better teams started kicking them around the field a little bit. But last week was a game they should have won. I feel like Seattle really needs to kind of bear down a little bit, focus a little bit, and get this W, because if you do, you really put the 49ers on defense the next 6 weeks. They've really got to play above board. It puts more pressure on McCaffrey to come back. All of these things. So, Seattle, if you're watching this, and I know you are, this is an opportunity here for you to get out ahead a little bit. I've got some shares of some parlays where Seattle wins that division, and I'd love to see it. So I'll be rooting for Seattle, but at the same time, San Francisco, man, this is a time to handle your business. And if you don't, again, more conversations are going to continue to be had. Let's switch gears to the props again. Last week, 4-1 on the season, above 500 now. Let's go, Boggs. Ken Walker's where I want to start because this was 56.5, I think, or 58.5.
It was 56.5.
56.5, which
Less
is where
than
I
12
bet it
hours
earlier
ago.
in the week.
Yeah.
I bet this earlier in the week because it was my same game parlay with the touchdowns. I already logged it in Betting Pros, I believe. But I had already gone over this. The number has moved. I'm still over on this, Boggs, because now it's 63.5. I don't care. The 56 was a joke, but 63.5. Are you still over on it?
Yeah, I mean, Ken Walker is such a good back. I mean, the Niners versus number one backs too. Connor last week, 19 for 86. Kyron Williams a couple weeks ago, 24 for 89 and 2 touchdowns. Ty Chandler had 10 rushes for 82 yards. The two guys that didn't get this total was Stevenson after fumbling, and then Brees week 1, 16 for 54. But Ken Walker, number one in run grade, 9th in yards after the contact, 7th in missed tackles forced, and he's missed 2 games. 5th in design run yards of 15 or plus yards, 2nd in breakaway yardage percentage behind Tank Bigsby, and 2nd in elusive rating behind Tank Bigsby as well. Also, Deepak's model shows us that the first 2 weeks back off this ab injury, he's likely to have a decreased carries as well in workload. So I think that's going to move up this week. This yardage total is too low. We also saw the Niners get gashed a little bit in the run game after Javon Hargrave went down, speaking of injuries. So I think Kenneth Walker's in for a big week.
All right, let's switch gears to some more Walker talk here. So we're over on the 63.5 rushing yards again. For me, I always like the yardage totals. I'm a little afraid of attempts or receptions. I just think there's so much more variability in that. And, you get one big play, boom, you get that over. That's all you need. You need the catches. You need the attempts. So the 13.5 rushing attempts, how do you feel about that one? You still over?
Yeah, I'm still over on that one. And that's, again, because of Deepak's model, right? He had 22 touches in game 1. Then in game 2, he got hurt. He missed the next 2 weeks, played the following 2, and he's had 16 and 12 touches those last 2 weeks. So this week, it seems like he's going to have more touches. Again, Hargrave missing, and they gave up 169 rushing yards to the Cardinals last week. That was a lot of Kyler as well on that big rush to start the game. But Connor had 19 last week. Walker is a better back than Connor at this point in their career. So I think Connor gets a decent amount of touches.
Brandon Aiyuk has been a bit of an enigma this year. The number for him is 64.5 receiving yards. This is a tough one for me. I don't have a beat on this one, but Boggs, you're the prop master around here. Why should people be in on Brandon Aiyuk, and why should they be in on the over 64.5?
Yeah, this one moved up only 1 yard. We'll take it though. But this one for me, it's, I mentioned Byron Murphy being down. I mentioned Boye Mafe being down. Derek Hall also banged up, but Tariq Woolen is also coming into this game at less than 100%. He's questionable. I think he got in a limited practice. He's probably going to end up playing, but he is their best cover corner by a wide margin. Devin Witherspoon is great, but he works almost 100% in the slot. So I think that Aiyuk working against a lesser cornerback over there, maybe Trey Brown, Nehemiah Pritchett, the rookie from Mississippi State, also could see a decent amount of playing time. I think this is where you take advantage of this weakness, and this is why I'm also leaning towards the over in this game. Like I said, bet the props, don't bet the game. But I like Aiyuk to go over in this, which could turn into a little bit of a back and forth with how many times the Seahawks pass.
I think it could. Again, that's why I'm going the over on this one, 47.5. Let's get to some Geno props. You've got 2 more to close us out in the prop department. Then we'll get to the SGP and we'll get to the touchdown calls. Geno Smith, this is a fun one. 35.5 over on the longest completions. So you're looking for the big DK bomb or the big DK run after catch, right?
Yeah, and Geno has hit this in 3 of 5 games. Remember, they gave up the 97-yarder to Justin Jefferson in that game early in the season. 2 50-yarders to Stafford and Brissett, and a 34-yarder last week against the Cardinals. Lots of banged-up players on the Niners defense as well, right? Hufanga on the IR. Mm-hmm. Jair Brown, the starting free safety, questionable in this game, definitely playing less than 100% if he is out there. So, I think this is an outside play. This is a DK play. And, I thought, and I still think the Seahawks should be running the ball more, which is why I didn't mess with pass attempts or completions for Geno in this game. But they've been passing at an absurd rate. Now, the last 2 games, they've been down and passing, so it's been a little bit more. But this game, they're not the favorite. The Niners are the favorite, so there's a possibility for them to be down late and passing the ball. Again, I just think when you're throwing the ball 40 times a game, give yourself more opportunities to hit this. And it's, short rest. It's questionable health for a lot of these guys. I think somebody slips by and gets a big one here.
All right, before we get to that last Geno one, this is why you use the tools at Betting Pros, because I just got a line alert from this game. And the line alert is that now it's moved to 48.5. Now I'm still on the over. I think we break 50 on this one, but lock in early as you can with us. We do the early takes of all the games on Monday's show, Andrew and I. This one feels like an over to me, even at this new movement here. But line alerts, one of the great features here. Also, the prop bet cheat sheet too. Again, go to bettingpros.com. Just go to prop bet cheat sheet or go to bettingpros.com/props. If you have the app, you just click on the game and you'll see all the props are right there for you. You'll see the best place to bet them. But the prop bet cheat sheet is one of the great tools you have at your disposal to get the best number you possibly can. It tells you with the projections on the fantasy side, the over and the under here. So line alerts, prop bet cheat sheet, all these tools that we use to put these shows together that we bet with, you should be betting with them too. Geno, over 15.5 rushing yards. That's the last one you got. Why do you see this one coming today?
This one was 13.5 yesterday too, by the way. So we're trying to get it earlier, but when he goes over this, he has gone way over this. 4 for 30 and a touchdown against Denver, 5 for 38 at Detroit, 4 for 72 last week against the Giants. And running is built into the game plan this season. He has 20 rush attempts in 5 games so far this season. He had 37 all year last year. So they're designing runs for him. You also saw JSN and DK Metcalf pulling off a little bit of trickiness in this season, where when they see Geno running, DK he baits the corner into thinking he's catching a pass. JSN did it last week as well, and they pull that safety into the end zone away from making a tackle on Geno, who's running behind him. So super smart that they've been doing that, and I've seen it pointed out a bunch. So there's been a bunch of design runs and scrambles for Geno in this game or in this season. So I think this is an easy number. The Niners put pressure on the quarterback. Even without Javon Hargrave, we know that Bosa is going to be active back there. So I think he bails out, and maybe a couple times. I think this total is probably low.
I'm looking on BP right now too. Fun fact, because I was just looking at my Kenneth Walker stuff. There is a spot still where you can get it in the 58 range. BetMGM actually has it at 58.5.
Okay.
So everywhere else is at 63.5. Bet365 is at 60.5, but BetMGM for Ken Walker is at 58.5. So you can still get that in there before things go a little cray-cray. Because that number continues to move. I see now FanDuel's got a 49.5. Hurry! Get in while the getting's good here. While we're looking ahead here to this same game parlay, I've got another duo bet here. I've been doing these and we've been having a lot of success with them. Next one here is Ken Walker. We just keep crushing these every single week. So let's go Ken Walker over the 63.5, or if you're BetMGM, you still get that 58. Great. Go take it there. And Ken Walker to score. You put those two things together, get plus 174. Now, if you want to get really crazy and have some fun and go for 3, again, I don't recommend it. Just stick to Ken Walker over the rushing yards, take the TD. But if you really have some money to burn, you had a really fun week 5 and you want to start week 6 off with a bang, if you put the over for the 49.5, you can get this up to 316. And Joey 316 says you might just want to bet it. So there you go. So that gets up to plus 316, 3-1 on Walker over, Walker touchdown, and over on the game. And again, if you're looking to build your own, once again, back to the tools. Betting Pros same game parlay builder is available. You combine multiple bets within a single NFL game, leverage the insights, get the right bet here for the right game. Go check it out for yourself right now. Betting Pros app, download it, sync your sportsbooks for free. BettingPros.com/parlay. That's how you check out that tool. All right, let's get to the touchdown calls here. Boggs, what do you have for the people tonight?
Give me George Kittle, plus 145 here. Leads the NFL in targets inside the 5 with 3. Also has 3 catches and 1 touchdown. I know he's coming in at less than 100% with the ribs and everything, but he's less than 100% last week. I think he's going to be okay. So, and even if he is limited, he ain't going to be limited near the goal line. They will definitely line him up. We like the over in this game. So, plus 145, good enough for me for George Kittle.
All right. For me, I already picked Ken Walker, but that's it, minus money. So I want plus money. I want plus money if I'm doing standalone here. DK Metcalf, plus 145. Let's go. Big game from DK.
On a big one. Let's go.
Yeah, it was like a 70-yard touchdown for DK. I wanted one of those big, giant DK Metcalf highlight reel TDs, especially with all the injuries in the secondary there for San Francisco. So let's go, DK Metcalf. Let's get the job done. Also, just throwing this out there right now, NFC West winner, San Francisco minus 115, Seattle plus 220. If Seattle wins this game, Boggs, what does that look like tomorrow morning?
Yeah, I still am not comfortable with them winning the division. I
think it looks like plus 105 San Francisco.
Oh, yeah.
Plus 150 Seattle.
Plus 150, yeah, 145, something like that. I think you're right there, but yeah, I still think I picked the Niners to win this division.
So. Probably, but the teams that should win,
it doesn't always happen.
Job of winning. Yep. in 2024. It seems like that it's every year nowadays, which makes wagering fun.
Come on, Jerry Glanville told us so long ago on NFL Films. What does the NFL stand for? Not for long. That's right.
Bob's favorite thing to say. He loves it. He says it every show. Can't get enough of it.
That's an old classic Jerry Glanville.
I used to love those old NFL film shows too. Like they used to, like when you were a kid, when we were young, they didn't have a lot of sports on TV. Sometimes you get those shows, you get those old specials with the John Facenda stuff, and you'd see all these like behind the sidelines of the NFL. Like this little special would be on for an hour. You get to watch it.
You got to watch Hank Strom. What was it?
65 toss power trap.
The field?
Matriculate the ball down the field. 65 toss power trap.
Yeah, that's
We're going to matriculate away from this show in just a minute here. Before we do, don't forget, subscribe to the channel, drop your comments below, and of course, ring the bell for notifications. Betting Pros is growing at a huge clip because of all of you watching the shows and, of course, listening to them over on the podcast feed as well. So wherever you get your pods, subscribe to the Betting Pros. That'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. For Bogman, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Enjoy Thursday Night Football.
Good luck.